This is Valley News Live at noon.
We continue to follow a developing story out of West Fargo. Several questions and concerns remain after 2 consecutive nights of shootings. West Fargo police will not confirm if anyone has been arrested in what neighbors say was a drive-by shooting of a child last night. Now, Parkway Drive and 36th Avenue West were closed for much of the night as investigators worked the scene. Several sources tell Valley News Live more than one person is in custody. However, police have not confirmed that. It's unclear if the public is in danger or if the police are looking for anyone. Police are asking anyone with information to contact them. There's still no word on whether the deadly shooting of a 6-year-old boy in North Moorhead was accidental or intentional. Police got the call around 8 Sunday night. They say several children were apparently home alone when they found a gun under a chip box. Dispatch audio indicates 5 children were in the apartment at the time. We learned some of the children are siblings, but we don't know if all of them are related to one another. And there's no word yet on who was supposed to be in charge of the children. We talked to a local lawyer who say in this case, someone could end up facing child endangerment charges and in a very rare case could be charged with manslaughter. Several charges against a man involved in a North Fargo murder investigation have now been dropped, and he's also been sentenced to prison. Lee Fry Jr. was allegedly inside a vehicle on May 12th when several gunshots were fired near the Northport Hornbuckers, killing 39-year-old Antoine Lamont White. Fry was originally charged with murder, conspiracy to commit robbery, reckless endangerment, 2 counts of theft, and unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Earlier this month, Fry took an Alford plea to the firearms charge, and court records show both Fry's murder and conspiracy to commit robbery charges were dropped. He has been sentenced to 18 months in prison. Fire crews have been on a scene of a large fire in downtown Fargo for more than 12 hours now. It's at the old Mid-American Steel building on the east edge of downtown Fargo. Smoke was pouring out of the building and spread out for several blocks. A deputy fire marshal says there are no intentional reports of injuries, adding that it's been a stubborn fire to fight. There's no word yet on the cause. Well, the clouds are moving in today, and many people could even see rain. Let's check in with meteorologist or forecaster Summer Snowbach. Hey, Summer.
Hey, Brian. Good Tuesday afternoon. And yeah, the skies are really starting to gray up as we head into this lunchtime hour. Here's a live look at our Home of Economy Skycam network in Devil's Lake. And what kind of looks like streaks from the sky, that's called virga. It happens when rain is falling but actually evaporates before it makes it to the ground. And virga is exactly what is happening here, as you can see on that live Skycam view. That is with these showers up through the Devil's Lake Basin, stretching down north of the Bismarck area. Some of these are making it to the ground in a form of just some sprinkles or a little bit of light rain, but the majority of it is not. Meanwhile, we're watching a second area of rain down to the south. Again, not all of that is making it to the ground, but take a look just farther south. A big low pressure system is swirling, and we will see some of this rain continue to push to the north as we continue throughout the afternoon and evening. So here's your headlines for today. Clouds will continue to increase with rain showers mostly to our south and east. Overnight, really dependent on temperatures. We could see a transition or some mix with some snowflakes, particularly our easternmost counties in west central Minnesota. And by Wednesday morning, there could be a little bit of accumulation. I'll have that hour-by-hour forecast coming up in just a few minutes, Brian.
Sounds good, and even learned a new word today about rain evaporating before it hits the ground.
Virga, yeah.
Virga, thank you. Well, a Fargo woman was arrested after a rollover in South Fargo last night. Police say 32-year-old Krista Hegley was arrested for DUI after she lost control of her vehicle and hit a parked car around 9:30. It happened in the 5200 block of Amber Valley Parkway. Her vehicle flipped over, but police say Hegley was not hurt. Police say they had the suspect accused of killing 10 people, including a police officer, in custody. Witnesses say the rampage began outside of a Border Colorado supermarket. Officials have yet to determine a motive. Steve Patterson has the latest from the scene.
Yeah, several new key pieces of information coming off of a morning press conference here in Boulder. First of all 10 victims have been named in this shooting. Police said they were working tirelessly through the night to identify those victims and to notify next of kin, and they say that they have now done so. Secondly, the suspect has now been named in this case. 21-year-old Ahmad Alisha has been taken to a local hospital being treated for a wound in an exchange with officers. He's been charged now with 10 counts of first-degree murder. Still, many questions remain unanswered, namely the motive, namely the weapon that the suspect used in this case, but police say that they are investigating, asking questions, still processing the scene, and that could take days as this investigation moves forward. I'm Steve Patterson, NBC News.
A law enforcement official briefed on the shooting told the Associated Press that the gunman used an AR-15 rifle. Authorities in northwestern Minnesota are searching for a missing woman, and they say the circumstances surrounding her disappearance are unknown. Police say 40-year-old Danielle Dressler was last seen on Thursday, March 18th at her home in Bagley. She's about 5'2", 110 pounds, with blue eyes and a partially shaved head. Now, she's known to drive a red Jeep Renegade with Minnesota plates ECB 527. Anyone with information on where she could be is urged to call police. 14 jurors are now seated 1 week before opening statements in the trial of a former Minneapolis police officer charged in George Floyd's death. The court seated another juror yesterday for Derek Chauvin's criminal trial. Now, Judge Peter Cahill says he still wants at least one more juror. Right now, there are 9 women and 5 men. Jurors range in age from their 20s to a grandmother in her 60s. Opening statements and testimony are scheduled to start on March 29th. Students in the Dilworth-Glendon-Felton School District will be learning from home again for the next few days after the district says it's seeing an increase in COVID cases. In a letter to families, the district says it's going distance learning from today until April 5th. Today and tomorrow are non-instructional days, so staff have time to prep. The decision to go full distance learning comes the same day the city of Fargo allowed the mask mandate to expire. Fargo City Commissioners voted 3-2 last night to let the COVID rule expire. The city is still urging people to wear masks, and social distancing and hand washing are also strongly encouraged. If you enter a city facility, you will also be required to wear a mask. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney says if cases start to climb again, he'll consider reinstating the mask mandate. West Fargo's mask strategy also expired overnight, and Grand Forks stopped their mandate on March 8th. Well, coming up at noon, the fallout with overcrowding at the southern border is growing, and rain chances for many in the area. Weather up next with forecaster Summer Snowball.